The Toronto Maple Leafs announced they have acquired veteran center Tomas Plekanec from the Montreal Canadiens. The trade will have Montreal sending Plekanec and forward Kyle Bound to Toronto in exchange for defenseman Rinat Valiev, winger Kirby Rickle and Toronto's second-round pick in the 2018 draft. The Canadiens will retain 50% of Plekanec's salary, the maximum allowed, according to TVA Sports' Renaud Lavoie. With the Canadiens retaining half of Plekanec's salary, that still leaves Toronto with $6 in cap space to work with, meaning they could still add another piece if they choose to do so. Toronto Sun's Lance Hornby writes the team is interested in acquiring New York Rangers defenseman Ryan McDonough. Many predicted that Toronto would hop into the trade market, especially after the Boston Bruins added Rick Nash this morning from the New York Rangers. On the surface it looks like Toronto made a nice move as they moved two average prospects and a second-rounder to improve the bottom-line depth at center. There has been talk that Toronto coach Mike Babcock hasn't been high on the fourth-line center Dominic Moore. Plekanec can now fill that void and energize the team's bottom lines. Sportsnet's Eric Engels reports that the Canadiens worked with Plekanec to find the right fit, although he did not have a no-trade clause. The 35-year-old wanted to stay in the Eastern Conference. They also talked about an extension in Montreal, and there remains the possibility to bring Plekanec back to Montreal in the off-season. Plekanec, who has been with the franchise his entire career, has played 981 games in Montreal. As for the Canadiens, the team did get a number of pieces in return for the longtime center. They received Toronto's second-rounder, which will give the franchise 4 second-round picks in this year's draft. The Valiev is likely to join Montreal for the rest of the season, as the 22-year-old defenseman is a left-handed defenseman, who many believe should fill out to be a solid bottom-pairing defenseman. He has played 3 full seasons with the AHL Toronto Marlies and has made 10 appearances for the Maple Leafs, all last season. The Valiev has 5 goals and 10 assists in 40 games this year with the Marlies. Rickle is a former first-round pick in 2013 by the Columbus Blue Jackets but struggled to produce. Columbus traded him to Toronto 2 years ago, and Rickle has shown some promise, putting up 19 goals last year with the Marlies, and he currently has 10 goals this year. Both are good players but were having trouble breaking through the Maple Leafs depth charts. That may change with Montreal. Toronto also got Bound in the deal. While he has played 5 games in the NHL, that was back in 2014-15 and 2015-16. Since being acquired at the start of the season from the Chicago Blackhawks, Bound has spent the season with the Laval Rocket of the AHL and 4 goals and 12 assists in 54 games.